setup in that little room in Rahway, New Jersey that we all know and love, which is where the players go to play on stream for Ultimate. Yay!
Yay, streams. We love watching these.
It's actually cool because I got to see the layout of Fusion when I went for the Fusion Super Major, and the people who play Rivals actually play on the stage upstairs, whereas there's like a room in the back for Ultimate.
Ooh. That sounds fancy, like a stage upstairs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where they had us commentating. But getting us started, we are going to have a bit of neutral, and the Nair is coming out instead. Both players answering with some of their own. Some of the boomerangs coming out as well. Not going to find that Thrupper just yet, as Deltaforce is able to land, but Yeast still looking for his licks where he can take them. I'm interested to see that we decided to start on Battlefield, but definitely a decent stage for both, and a beautiful air dodge from Deltaforce, and able to avoid that Thrupper from Yeast.
Yeah. Ooh. He's trying to cover a couple options there with that bomb throw and the down smash. Unfortunately, nothing is going to connect there, so Deltaforce will get back to stage. But yeah, this has been a bit of a slapper knocker so far, and that back air there from Yeast is going to secure the first stock here, put himself in the advantage state right now. We're going to have to see how far he's able to push that against Deltaforce in this grand final.
Yeah, 65% already on Deltaforce. He is still not able to connect exactly where he wanted with that hero spin, thus giving Yeast a chance to continue his damage. But Deltaforce able to get a really awesome stop there. I think it looked like he ricocheted off of another object on the upper platform, and that's what caused the stock to be ended out there. But I will have to look at the replay when we do. Anyways, Deltaforce finding himself with a stock taken, but now has to hold on to this as long as he can. Unfortunately, it will be gone. Yeast.
Yeah, he's with that Thrupper able to secure the second stock there, and has actually been doing a really good job putting himself in the driver's seat here, and is able to kind of, even though he's coming up from losers, make it look like this is still the winner's side stock, and the downer there chasing him off stage. Yeast just really quickly wrapping that one up, putting the wrapping paper, putting on a nice bow, putting it under the Christmas tree, getting ready for the holiday season already.
That was a pretty quick game, so Yeast just being able to close that out over Deltaforce. And I think that this was a pretty important win for Deltaforce before, but we really didn't see those offstage interactions that I think were necessary to his wins earlier.
Yeah, and like the one time we really did see an offstage interaction was Yeast going deep to force Deltaforce into an unrecoverable position right there. Yeah, like Link himself doesn't have the best tools, especially not having that hook shot on Adult Link does hurt your ability to get back to ledge. And oh my god, Yeast, just so much damage unanswered here, just keeping this momentum going. But yeah, not having that hook shot does hurt Deltaforce's ability to recover back to this ledge a bit, and he's kind of just going off and exploiting that little bit of difference.
Yeah, I think that that was something really important. And going into this next game, I am interested to see how Deltaforce decides to answer back, if he does. But you can't really answer back to much when there is a charged up smash in your face. Yeast going to be drawing first blood of this game.
Yeah, and Yeast really kind of showing the adaptations here going into this set from the first set that we saw between these two in winners. Deltaforce trying to get something going here, is getting the damage kind of slowly racked up, but with how fast Yeast is playing, I just don't think it's fast enough at this point. Okay, there we go. We're going to see the bomb off stage. That is going to take the stock, so Deltaforce is able to respond pretty quickly there.
Great snipe with the bomb from Deltaforce, but Yeast going to be finding this damage once again as he seems to be chasing Deltaforce to these upper platforms. Not going to be able to close out the stock just yet, but he is looking for the Thrupper, and instead it gets interrupted by the down air. Deltaforce now has a chance to put some damage on the board for himself instead. The up air instead going to be responding with the up tilt and actually finding the F smash in order to take that stock.
Yeah, I'm loving the roll in there to get that because I think that was also the first time we saw Yeast pull out the Mach Punch in specifically against Deltaforce. So that was a really quick snap decision that Deltaforce had to make there, and is able to pay off really well, giving him the stock lead here. And now just trying to look to kind of take these trades with this stock buffer that he has, so that when it goes into a last stock situation, if it even gets there, Deltaforce can play very comfortably.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, but the
Yeast
F
was
tilt,
looking
yeah.
for the up smash, and then the F tilt just
Out from Deltaforce.
that was a great stock, and the first game on the board going for Deltaforce.
I hate to speak too soon, so I won't, but this game is looking a lot like the one we saw pre-
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of mirroring the winners final so far, where it started off with Yeast getting game number one, was it? I believe
Yeah,
number one
it
or
was
two.
really quick. He got game number 1 really quickly, and then Delta in succession.
Yeah, my memory is not the best, so I'm just racking my mind, oh god, how did that one go? But yeah, no, you're right. It very much is kind of a replay of what we saw so far, and if this stays true to history, you might be seeing Delta Force taking another game here, and he's off to a pretty good start, getting 77% here onto Yeast, keeping him in a disadvantage for a good chunk of this game so far. Just doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on, not letting Yeast break through. Oh man, just covering so many options as well. Man, Deltaforce really cleaning things up from how that first game went.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's trying to change his using the flip jump, but instead going to get met with the bomb and goes way too low to recover. Deltaforce taking a pretty quick stock, and with only 57 damage, he doesn't really have that much to be worried about for right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned back in earlier sets we saw from Deltaforce the Z drop for the bomb. That was what really was able to kind of put the pressure onto Yeast there and keep him from getting to that ledge. The Z drop, just a little active hitbox, as small and as little as it is, just doing so much work there. Here we go, though. The Thrupper is going to find that kill onto Deltaforce, but Deltaforce immediately coming off the platform into the grab, just wasting no time, getting right back into the action here, trying to find some hits here, but Yeast able to break through. Now, doesn't get the read in with the F tilt, but does maintain stage control for a bit, but Yeast responding very quickly. The Thrupper there, not quite gonna kill. Both of these characters sitting at about 90% right now. Very even game state. Both of these characters going to be looking for this kill soon enough to try and get the advantage going into the last stock situation here. Oh my god, he's going to get the rebound off the boomerang into the up smash above the platform. Deltaforce with a great stock there, looking to secure this game number 3.
Beautiful up smash from Deltaforce, and really the way that he was able to respond to Yeast using Thrupper as an anti-air, as you described earlier, that was something really imperative to that stock. A Thrupper once again putting Deltaforce at full range, not enough to take the stock just yet, but these boomerangs and the bomb, Deltaforce is putting out in order to try to ensure more damage, but that back air from Yeast going to be taking the stock instead.
And here we go, sitting at a last stock situation, but the percent gap is just so in favor of Deltaforce, and we can start to see the chip damage come through there on these interactions. Just every little bit of the boomerang, the arrows, the bombs, and building up onto that damage. Now sitting over 100% is Yeast, and man, he can't take too many more of these hits because he's gonna start falling to something like an aerial or an F tilt very soon. Oh yeah, and I'm loving how Deltaforce is using the active hitbox from the bomb to put pressure on Yeast to not approach the shield. Just try to dictate the turns of approach here for Yeast. Man, it's going so well, but the shield there and the charge to F smash, that's going to be enough to get Yeast the win here. And a quick reversal onto how Deltaforce started that last stock in the lead.
That F smash was so crucial because we were actually able to see that was the second time he was able to contest the hero spin at the center of the stage. The first time he used a side B in order to disrupt the hero spin, but this time when it really mattered, he was able to use it to take the game with his F smash instead. So I'm really glad that Yeast was able to find that hole in Deltaforce's armor. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, like, you are not lying when, like, you're saying in the time that mattered, he gets, like, a really good punish. That was so key in stopping the Deltaforce momentum into going what could be Deltaforce being up 2-1, looking to secure this last game and go home. Now Yeast is going to be looking to take this game and send us to a reset, or Deltaforce is going to take it and send us to a game 5, but gave Yeast the stage selection.
Yeah, that was such a really important moment, and just being able to do that, I think, is so crucial to having that sort of stamina in order to win long fought sets like these. But great stuff. Deltaforce already getting us started on a tear, but not if Yeast has anything to say about it with that Mach Punch. Not enough to take the stock just yet, but still enough to incite some fear into Deltaforce with that Thrupper going to be taking first blood like a shark.
And the fear is real here for Deltaforce right now, because Yeast is just playing ferociously. Ooh, goes for the high recovery. The hero spin not quite going to take it, but the snipe with the arrow. Man, looking like he's actually playing Breath of the Wild. They're just going for those long distance shots. But yeah, here we go. We're sitting even at a stock apiece, but you definitely have to think Yeast has some momentum here going into this, just with how strong that first stock was.
Oh, just going to barely miss the ledge, but Yeast still going out in order to try to get a bit more damage. Chasing him to the upper platform, the Nair is coming out from Deltaforce in order to continue his rampage. Going off stage instead, but Yeast looking for that down air, finding it right where it hurt and taking the stock away from Deltaforce. He has a lot to make up if he wants to be able to take this game back.
Oh, here we go. This long string coming out from me. 72% here onto what might be the winner side stock here of Deltaforce. And yeah, Yeast just needs to get one good conversion, and that might spell the end of this first set here. Send us into a reset. But Deltaforce just trying, fighting tooth and nail to not let that happen. Able to use these nairs to stuff out approaches. The Thrupper out of shield. Not quite going to take it, but that's still sending very far. Trying to use the F tilt there to cover a lot of that space. Nair is going to be stuffing out approaches. Up tilt. Oh man, Deltaforce is just trying so hard, but the clash there between the hitboxes, that's going to work out in Yeast's favor and send us to a reset.
Was that an F smash from Yeast and then a down air? I think that was an F smash. But
I'm not certain either, because it just felt so instantaneous, like Deltaforce coming down with that down air, but Yeast just being comfortable with his character, knowing what moves he has to be able to throw out to contest that down air from Link. Just such great knowledge of his character in that moment.
that was pretty awesome. I think going into our final game rather of this set, it is a lot on the table, or sorry, not final game, a reset. Sorry. It is all the cards on the table, everybody trying to get everything where they can, and Deltaforce, though, seems to be coming out pretty strongly. Going to be following up with that hero spin, not enough to take the stock, but it is enough to put Yeast in an unfavorable position. Still going to continue with his rampage, and actually Deltaforce not able to continue too closely yet because of Yeast coming back in with these up tilts instead. But off stage, this is definitely a precarious spot for Yeast, especially with the bomb out and the charged arrow air dodging down the down air as well, and now Yeast just struggling to land.
Yeah, he's finally able to get back to center stage and is responding with some damage of his own. Oh my god, not quite. That Thrupper was so close to killing, though. And able to respond with a dare after such a strong performance from Deltaforce to start off game number one. Yeast responds, but no, Deltaforce just chasing him off stage with a dare and is able to get the little pogo bounce off him to get back to stage. Easy peasy, no problem. And man, these players are just unrelenting in this grand finals.
They have been playing hot today, honestly. Both of them just so eager to not let up from the other. The bomb is still sitting there at the center of the stage, I just noticed. But getting that Thrupper from the center of the tallest platform, definitely a big move for Yeast. And still having a lot of damage to work with, it is imperative that Deltaforce close this stock out now if he wants to close out this game.
Yeah, like at the start, Deltaforce was definitely showing signs of, using the fact that it's a new set to kind of mental reset, not let the momentum that Yeast was building kind of get to him. But Yeast has just been able to continue that through the first set of grand finals into this reset, and now Delta Force is sitting not in a good position right now, over 100% on this last stock, while Yeast still has another one to break through, is able to find that fair connecting at center stage, get that first stock. Got a lot of ground to work up for here.
He is definitely looking for it though, able to get that grab through the rapid jab from Yeast, and now trying to land with his nair, instead getting sent upwards. No rubber though from Yeast in order to take the stock, but he is definitely looking for it, as we saw that quick air dodge down from Deltaforce in order to land. Instead though, it is going to be the up smash at the ledge from Yeast to close out game number 1 of this grand finals reset.
Yeah, Yeast kind of picking out Delta Force's just, you know, I don't want to say panicky, but more just like the fact that Delta Force just wanted to keep things going and didn't want to give up any of the pressure that he was starting to build there onto Yeast, and just able to catch that neutral getup with the up smash. So now going into game number 2 here with Yeast yet again at the 1-0 lead. We're gonna have to see if Delta Force will bring it back here, or if Yeast is gonna look to try to get a clean sweep here in this reset.
Deltaforce needs to take a couple quick breaths, because honestly, Yeast is capitalizing off of the fact that he is not playing calmly. But going into this next game, it does look as though Deltaforce is really finding his openings, getting them wherever he can, looking for a lot of these openings with the nairs, leading in with the boomerang first, and waiting for Yeast to overextend like we just saw. Yeast, however, looking for these up tilts, just going to spam them for a little bit as Deltaforce air dodges and still following him up over the platform to get that thrupper. That stock is gone right where he stood.
Yeah, like you were saying, Delta Force has been able to, when he's playing the slower game and he's taking those breaths, able to, really play cleanly and, show the Delta Force that we all know and love. But Yeast just thriving off of these little flashes of panic that we see come out from Delta Force, and is just able to get so much off of those that, Delta Force just can't afford to slip up like those little bits, and we're just gonna have to see if he's able to keep that mental fortitude continuing through for this last set.
Absolutely. And now we can see Deltaforce still looking to find this advantage where he can. It is slim, but looking for a lot of these nairs, going to go for that up tilt and not finding the up air just yet. But the up tilt coming out and instead air dodging away to the upper platform, the hero spin at the center. He's definitely been catching Yeast with those, but not to the point where he can catch him with the stock.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot of work for Deltaforce to be able to pick up the stock with these hero spin, just because of how well Yeast has been able to predict them. Okay, there we go. He's going to take the stock there, and now Deltaforce sitting with a stock lead here, looking to try and bring something out. Oh no! He's facing the wrong way with that rubber, and Deltaforce very quickly snatching that game out from right under Yeast.
Alright, Yeast going to laugh that one off, but I wouldn't be so quick to do so, because this could be the start of a reversed 3-0 for Deltaforce. I do think we saw a lot more of his prowess this third game than we've seen so far. A lot of the time he seemed to be pretty nervous, and now coming into this, game 2 rather. But going into that, it did seem to be a pretty big change in momentum for Deltaforce to be able to just hold on to his pace and then really make Yeast work for anything he got.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have to see if the game win there is enough to really flip that switch in Deltaforce's head to where he can play his own speed now, and not have to be at the mercy of Yeast. So far for this game 3, just been trading blows. No real big advantages being built up here so far. But now we're seeing Yeast off stage, but he's able to safely get back. Just not able to get any of these conversions here in this third game so far. Combos have been like really short and snappy. Nothing like super duper explosive coming out from Yeast so far. And Deltaforce more than comfortable to take advantage of the fact that this is a slower game right now.
All right, and taking advantage of the fact, indeed, coming out with the hero spin, just as I was saying earlier, and able to take a stock with it. Offstage lending especially to that ability. Now, going to further his damage, he is looking to roll away instead. Yeast, though, trying to find that down air, but instead, it is going to be Deltaforce who's able to find even more extra credit. He's holding that bomb and able to get the raw rubber, but not getting it the second time. Instead, going to fall to that F tilt as he is down 2 stocks.
I love the thought process there from Yeast. Like, use the... Oh, okay, that was nasty. Yeah, I like the thought process. Use the knockback from the boomerang to try to kind of use that to position yourself for that second thrupper. It just doesn't pay off, unfortunately, and Deltaforce is just able to take advantage of that and really run away with the lead. Now sitting with this full stock lead here. Yeast is going to have to make something happen, and oh my god, as I say, he does. He made it happen. The thrupper there right off the top platform is going to email up the stock count, and now Deltaforce might be panicking a bit. He's going to have to take some of those deep breaths and slow it down, as you were saying.
The second that I saw Yeast take Deltaforce to the upper platform, I was like, oh, it's Jover. That stock is gone. But Deltaforce not out of it just yet, as he is looking for what he can against Yeast. He's choosing to land a lot with Nair, but Deltaforce can do that as well, and Deltaforce seems to be able to find the timing a lot better with it too, because he seems to be catching Yeast mid-jump, and speaking of mid-jump, coming out with the hero spin instead, and that is going to be game number 3 going to Deltaforce.
Yeah, Deltaforce here sitting at match point, at tournament point at that, off of a really good hero spin there. And yeah, Yeast just not able to get the timing on the hero spin interrupt like we've seen him get earlier in the set. So yeah, now Deltaforce sitting with the lead here. Going to be going into game number 4 here with a game advantage, and then also having, if it goes to game 5, stage pick for that as well. So you have to imagine he's feeling pretty comfortable now.
He is definitely in a good position. So I'm glad that you pointed that out too with the stage pick. So regardless of how this game goes, it is still going to be in Deltaforce's favor. But coming back in, it does look as though Yeast is racking up some pretty quick damage, looking for the stock with that thrupper, but not enough to find it just yet. Great grab from Deltaforce, able to sort of take Yeast out of his zone with the momentum chain. And now looking for anything he can out of that up tilt, but it is going to be the thrupper once again to take the first stock for Yeast.
Yep, and Yeast just doing his best to keep the momentum going, not let Deltaforce slow the game down. And yeah, they're almost lapped in percent right now. Yeast has just been able to keep this pressure up, and once again he's finding himself on the top platform. And yeah, anytime Yeast or Deltaforce ends up going up there, it gets very scary. And yep, there we're gonna see another thrupper off the top. Yeast responding very quickly with those 2 stocks and looking to bring this to game number 5. But Deltaforce with the Pharaoh off stage has something to say about that. Has a deficit to make up here, but it's not undoable for this player.
It is really going to be a Sisyphean task, as we were saying earlier, for Deltaforce to be able to take this game back. But he seems so eager to do it, especially with a potential ledge trap like what he has. He keeps sending Yeast to each side of the stage and keeping him there, the F tilt coming out as well, sending the bomb his way, but catching it instead. Yeast now sitting too closely at the upper platform, only to get the up tilt from Deltaforce. Now coming back in with the Nair instead, going to be finding that hero spin over Yeast, and now not quite enough to take the stock just yet, but getting pretty close as he does so with only 52%. This is very doable.
Yeah, Deltaforce just playing so cleanly in that second stock. just able to keep Yeast from really running away with too much extra credit there. And yeah, this is now, as you're saying, much more doable for Deltaforce, looking to try and take this, wrap it up, send it home. But man, Yeast is just trying so hard to dance around this link, really force Deltaforce to have to go for some of these more committal options. Ooh, he's able to connect with the up air there. Gets the connection with the fair. Oh my god, that's gonna be it! That must have been some bad DI or something because he was only at like, what, 90, 100 some percent? I imagine he would have lived that.
That was less than 100%, so really
Yeah.
surprising to see. But regardless, that is going to be Deltaforce crowned tonight's Fusion champion over Yeast in such a close set grand reset. You know, I think this specific set though, Deltaforce really fought back, and I think that was great to see because Yeast spent a long time in the last set running away with it. I mean, he won 3-1, and it wasn't. Some of those games weren't particularly close either, but to see Deltaforce just be able to find his zen and then really look for a lot of those moments, like those landing nairs were so important. And then especially to be able to get Yeast off stage. I mean, we saw like the hero spin off stage, we saw the fair off stage. Those were so important that Deltaforce was just able to go and hit Yeast where it hurt.
Yeah, like real big props to Deltaforce for being able to, withstand just the onslaught from Yeast, like losing the first set of grands there, coming into the second set with Yeast starting off with a very strong game one. It's a real test to Deltaforce's mental game and his fortitude. And like you said, it just absolutely shone through there as it continued through in this finals reset.
Yeah, just really awesome to see. I am really excited and pleased to see that specific mental fortitude coming out in such a long string of sets from player, but awesome to see. And it's it is again like the level of excellence that we expect from players at Fusion. And with that, we have wrapped up yet another Fusion. It has been a Monday for sure. And
Yep.
That's 276 done and dusted.
Yeah, for a small event that we got through pretty quickly, absolutely not lacking in terms of quality. Like some really insane sets that we saw, just all around. A fusion's a fusion, no matter how you spell it out.
Yeah, I mean the characters and the character choices, and as well as the specialists, everyone just sort of brings their A game to every single tournament. So it was awesome to be able to see more players represented than what we normally see in such a small bracket. Having such a small bracket is great because it means that more players get to go on stream. And I really like that because I'm a commentator, but it also means that the TOs aren't going to be there way past their bedtimes either.
Yeah, especially getting older and running tournaments, I definitely understood that I have an internal bedtime. So the smaller brackets like this are always appreciated. But we're going to give you guys a quick little run through the ads here before we let you go. Collision Series, once again, they are the group that is putting on Fusion and a lot of other events too. They're just, the bar for quality when it comes to tri-state area. Like, they've been such a stalwart force in Smash here. So please support them by following on their social media, subscribing on Twitch, on YouTube, all that stuff. Anything you can do to support them really helps.
Collision has also been such a pillar of grassroots in the scene. All of the things that they're able to do have been so crucial. And another thing that you can support of Collisions is Fusion, which is one of the longest running, one of the also highest levels of competition of any local that you will get in the area. You can go play Ultimate and Rivals. I guarantee you will find a stacked bracket regardless of which game you enter every Monday in Rahway, New Jersey. Be there, and apparently you should try their fried chicken the Rahway tournament, but be sure to go. It is a great event.
Yeah, speaking of great events, we got Afterburner coming up once again here, coming back for 2026, January 16th or 18th out in Indiana. They're going to have Ultimate Melee, Street Fighter 6, and Rivals 2. So it's going to be, no matter what you're looking for, there's going to be a tournament for you. And, I just love this, like, cell line that they have. The only tournament with a car on stage. It's, hey, they know what makes them unique. So I appreciate that about them. You can sign up and learn more at start.gg/afterburner.
Definitely be sure to sign up. I would sign up if I were you, because spots are going quickly. Now that they have heavy hitting players like Mia signed up, definitely be sure to sign up if you want to get in on the action. And with that, once again, it has been another Fusion, and Flygon and I have had the absolute pleasure of being able to bring you today's bracket. So, Flygon, any closing remarks?
Support your locals.
Yeah! Woo! Alrighty,
Yeah.
that has been it from us. Be sure to check out the VODs later on from Collision, but that is going to be all. So thank you all so much for tuning in, sticking with us tonight. It has been a pleasure to be here. Everyone get home safely. Good night.